Have you ever stopped to think that the grandeur of divine creation is not only found in imposing elephants or powerful eagles that soar across the sky? Often it's in the almost invisible details that God reveals his greatest miracles. Today we will dive into the fascinating world of the smallest birds on the planet, creatures so light they can perch on the tip of a pencil, yet so important that they sustain the balance of life in their habitats. Get ready to be enchanted by bright colors, delicate songs, and surprising stories. But before we start, subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Now, let's begin. Number 15, red-cheeked cordon-bleu. Also called the red-cheeked cordon-bleu. At the top of the list is one of the most delicate miracles of creation, the red-cheeked cordon-bleu, known worldwide as the red-cheeked cordon-bleu. This tiny giant measures just 11 centimeters, weighs only 9 grain, and yet is capable of filling the African fields with color and joy. Found in savannas and low vegetation areas of sub-Saharan Africa, it seems to carry a divine artist's palette in its plumage. Light blue chest, brown back, and in males, a vivid red patch on the cheeks that looks like natural makeup. This mark gives rise to its common name and turns it into a walking spectacle of colors. Despite its small size, it is full of energy and sociability. It lives in small flocks outside the breeding season, always interacting with gentle wing flaps as if greeting one another. Its song is sweet, like a sugary warble, full of variations used to communicate with companions and strengthen group bonds. Its diet is versatile, consuming seeds, small insects, and fresh shoots, always using its small, sharp beak. This varied diet makes it essential for the ecological balance of the savannas, helping disperse seeds and control insect populations. Behavior, reproduction, and interaction with humans. The red-cheeked cordon-bleu is a small bird, but with an impressive presence. Extremely social, it demonstrates complex group behaviors reminiscent of small societies. Outside the breeding season, they live in flocks of up to 30 individuals, flying in coordinated patterns that resemble aerial dances. This interaction is not only aesthetic, but also crucial for survival, as it allows collective vigilance against predators and facilitates food searching. During the mating season, males become even more eye-catching. In addition to the vibrant red cheeks, they perform elaborate dances, flapping their wings and tilting their bodies in gestures that seem almost choreographed. The male's song becomes longer and more varied, alternating between quick trills and soft notes to attract a female and demonstrate his genetic vitality. Interestingly, studies indicate that females prefer males with more intense colors and complex trills, suggesting that the red-cheeked cordon-bleu has highly refined sexual selection. In captivity, these birds require special attention. Despite their small size, they are highly sensitive to stress, and sudden changes in the environment can affect their behavior and reproduction. Breeders typically provide spacious cages, environmental enrichment with branches, toys, and artificial nests to stimulate natural behaviors. In addition, their diet must be carefully balanced, combining high-quality seeds, fresh fruits, vegetables, and protein supplements to ensure health and bright plumage. Parental care is another highlight of the red-cheeked cordon-bleu. Both males and females actively participate in nest building, egg incubation, and feeding the chicks. Each egg is incubated for approximately 14 days, after which the chicks hatch blind and helpless, entirely dependent on their parents. During the first weeks, the male alternates with the female to keep the chicks warm and fed, demonstrating a level of cooperation rarely seen in small birds. Beyond its ecological importance, the red-cheeked cordon-bleu also fascinates bird lovers and nature observers. Its curious behavior, melodious trills, and vibrant colors make it a target for photography, observation, and scientific study. Researchers have studied these birds to understand social dynamics, sexual selection, and behavioral adaptations in arid environments, revealing valuable insights into the ecology of African savannas. Despite its small size, the red-cheeked cordon-bleu has a significant impact on ecological balance. It aids in dispersing seeds of various native plants, contributing to vegetation regeneration, and helps control small insects, keeping the savanna environment healthier and more balanced. Each flock, no matter how small, functions as an essential piece of the African ecological mosaic, proving that size does not determine importance in nature, history, value, and international presence. The red-cheeked cordon-bleu is not only a marvel of African nature, but also a true treasure for breeders and collectors of exotic birds around the world. Historically, this species has always sparked curiosity due to its vibrant plumage and sociable behavior. Since the first European explorer records in the 19th century, the parakeet was documented as a bird of rare beauty and intelligence, capable of complex interactions with its environment and other flock members. In the early 20th century, European and North American breeders began importing live specimens to establish captive lineages. This introduction was not simple. The red-cheeked cordon-bleu requires specific environmental conditions, including controlled temperature, adequate nutrition, and constant social stimulation, essential factors to ensure reproduction and longevity. The first generations in captivity faced challenges, but with dedication, many breeders succeeded in establishing stable populations, allowing the species to become a highlight in international ornithological exhibitions. The commercial value of the red-cheeked cordon-bleu is significant. Due to its rarity and difficulty of breeding in captivity, a healthy chick with flawless plumage can cost hundreds of dollars, while prize-winning specimens in international competitions may reach even higher prices. Birds with exceptional genetic traits such as color intensity, symmetry of markings, and particularly melodious trills are highly sought after, making the trade of this species highly competitive among specialized collectors and breeders internationally. The red-cheeked cordon-bleu has become an icon of exotic bird exhibitions, often showcased in championships in Europe, North America, and Japan. Renowned breeders carefully study lineages and genealogies, ensuring genetic diversity and preserving the species' integrity. Its presence in competitions and fairs contributes not only to its economic value, but also to awareness of the conservation of native African species, promoting responsible captive breeding practices. Beyond its financial value, the bird also plays a symbolic role. For many collectors, owning a red-cheeked cordon-bleu represents a combination of prestige, passion for nature, and dedication to the care of delicate living beings. The attention and knowledge required to keep it healthy make the breeder highly specialized, able to understand behavioral and physiological nuances often unnoticed by casual observers. Thus, the red-cheeked cordon-bleu is not only a visual and auditory spectacle, but a bridge between Africa's natural beauty and the global culture of exotic bird keeping. It encapsulates centuries of natural history, conservation challenges, and human fascination with tiny yet complex creatures. Its legacy continues to grow as more breeders and researchers dedicate themselves to studying, preserving, and celebrating this small marvel of African avifauna. Advanced care, reproduction, and behavior raising, a red-cheeked cordon-bleu requires more than offering seeds and water. It's about deeply understanding its biological and behavioral needs. This species is highly social and intellectual, which means that in captivity, isolated birds can develop stress, aggressive behavior, or depression. Therefore, it's ideal to keep small flocks or at least pairs that recognize and interact with each other regularly. Nutrition is crucial for health and plumage brightness. The red-cheeked cordon-bleu does not settle for ordinary seeds. A balanced diet should include high-quality seeds, fresh fruits, vegetables, and vitamin supplements, ensuring each bird receives the nutrients needed for growth, reproduction, and immunity. Additionally, during the breeding season, extra protein, such as boiled eggs or insect larvae, is essential to strengthen future parents and ensure healthy eggs. Habitat also deserves detailed attention. Aviaries should be spacious, allowing cordon-bleu to fly, climb, and explore. Small or restricted cages can lead to destructive behaviors such as feather plucking, excessive pecking, or apathy. Ideally, indoor environments should include varied perches, interactive toys, and nesting spaces, simulating natural African savanna conditions. Natural light or full-spectrum lamps help maintain the bird's circadian rhythm and eye health. Regarding reproduction, the red-cheeked cordon-bleu is selective and meticulous. Partner choice involves singing displays, ritualized mating, and compatibility assessment. The nest, built with natural materials, must be protected from predators, excessive vibrations, and sudden temperature changes, as any stress can lead to egg rejection. Number 14. Golden-crowned kinglet. Few birds carry a name as majestic and at the same time as well-deserved. The golden-crowned kinglet is one of the smallest birds in Europe. Measuring just 9 centimeters and weighing less than 6 gra, it sports a golden stripe on the top of its head that shines like a crown, resembling miniature kings silently ruling the coniferous forests. Males display more intense colors, and when they raise the feathers on their heads, they look like tiny sovereigns crowning themselves in the sunlight. Despite their tiny size, they are tireless. They spend the day day in constant motion, hunting insects, larvae, and spiders, barely stopping for a few seconds as if they have a divine mission to fulfill without rest. In winter, they gather in mixed flocks with other species. This union provides more protection and efficiency in the search for food, reminding us that communion always strengthens. Their song is thin and high-pitched, almost inaudible to human ears, but enough to mark presence and maintain contact with the group. Their nests are true natural works of art, spherical in shape, built with moss, lichens, spider webs, and plant fibers. Inside, up to 10 tiny eggs rest safely. It's miraculous to think that such a small creature can house so much life in such a tiny space. The golden-crowned kinglet symbolizes the royalty of simplicity. It needs no thrones or palaces. Its majesty lies in living in harmony with the forest, silently serving the order of creation. It reminds us that even the smallest among us can wear invisible crowns given by the Creator to fulfill their purpose with dignity. Observing this little king invites us to value the small greatnesses of life, the detail of a feather, the shine of a golden crown hidden among branches, and the certainty that every creature has a sacred purpose. Number 13, golden-tailed king. Also known as African painted sparrow. In the savannas and semi-arid fields of sub-Saharan Africa lives a small treasure that seems to wear a royal hat. The golden-tailed king, known as the painted sparrow, measures just 11 centimeters and weighs 8 to 10 grams. Despite its discreet size, it carries a beauty that captivates any attentive gaze. Its reddish-brown body is delicately speckled with white spots on the chest and sides, as if tiny stars had been embroidered into its feathers by God himself. This detail gives the bird a sophisticated appearance, almost as if dressed for a celebration. The golden-tailed king prefers low vegetation areas where it can hide easily, spending much of the day on the ground, hopping calmly in search of tiny seeds. When raising chicks, it supplements its diet with insects and larvae, showing that even the humblest creature in creation can become a diligent caregiver. It usually lives in pairs or small flocks, communicating with gentle tail movements and discreet notes, a nearly secret dialogue between companions. During the breeding season, the male performs a charming ritual, swaying its tail, rotating its body gently, and singing a repeated song to win the female. A simple spectacle, yet full of tenderness, reminding us that true love is expressed in small gestures. The nest, made of dry grass and fine leaves, is hidden among bushes. 3 to 5 eggs are laid, and both parents share the care of the chicks. This tiny bird teaches a valuable lesson. Greatness is not in size or strength, but in quiet dedication and harmony with the environment. For those who believe in divine creation, the painted sparrow is another reminder that God reveals himself even in details within a tiny body that, though nearly invisible, sustains the balance of life. Number 12, Texeira sparrow, a little jewel of the North American desert. In the arid deserts of North America, where the scorching heat cracks the earth and vegetation is scarce, lives a delicate bird, almost invisible but full of vigor. The Texeira sparrow, measuring just 10 centimeters and slightly over 6 G. One of the smallest birds on the continent, it is also one of the most astonishing. Its grayish-blue back and pale yellow chest allow it to blend perfectly with the dry landscape, as if nature painted this tiny creature with discreet tones for protection, reminding us that even in the harshest environments, God provides the means for survival. The Texeira sparrow hops among low bushes and thorns, always active like a spark of life in the desert. It feeds on small larvae, insects, nectar, and wild fruits, adapting to what the environment offers. This flexibility is a true example of resilience, showing that even amid scarcity, it is possible to thrive. During the breeding season, the male becomes an artist, choosing the top of a bush and singing repeatedly, filling the desert silence with soft notes. Its song echoes like a solitary prayer, a hymn of hope meant to attract a female. The nest, hidden among dense shrubs, is carefully woven with fibers, bark fragments, and herbs. Usually, 3 eggs are incubated for 10 days until the chicks arrive. Little known, the Texeira sparrow is like a hidden treasure, a jewel among thorns. It reminds us that life, even fragile and small, always finds a way to flourish. For believers, it is proof that the Creator does not abandon any corner of the earth, not even the most arid, without leaving signs of beauty and resilience. Number 11, zebra honeycreeper, also known as kambaika or bananqueet. If there is a bird that carries the joy of tropical gardens, it is the kambaika. Small, light, and full of energy, it measures about 10 centimeters and weighs 7 to 10 grays, yet seems to hold the vibrancy of a festival within. Present in yards, squares, parks, and urban areas throughout Central and South America, including Brazil, its plumage is a spectacle in itself. Radiant yellow chest, dark back, and a white stripe above the eyes resembling expressive eyebrows. This natural mass gives it a curious and playful look, as if it is always smiling. Observers immediately notice its strong personality. Despite its size, it defends flowers and feeders with giant courage. The Cambica hops among flowers, branches, and even artificial nectar containers, always in motion. It feeds mainly on nectar, but also consumes small fruits and insects, making it essential for pollination. Its fast and tireless flights resemble a joyful dance, a spontaneous choreography celebrating the gift of life. When gathered in groups, the soundscape is even more impressive. Its song consists of short, repetitive whistles, simple at first glance, but when sung by several birds simultaneously, the garden transforms into a vibrant choir, a true outdoor mass. The round nest is built with plant fibers, leaves, and even small pieces of plastic or paper. This creativity shows how adaptable the Cambica is, transforming even waste into shelter for its offspring. The female lays 2 to 3 eggs and incubates them patiently until the chicks are ready to start life. Small, graceful, and full of vigor, the Cambica teaches that true joy does not depend on size or strength, but on heart. It is a reminder that the Creator spreads life and music even in the most ordinary places, like an everyday backyard. Number 10. Bee hummingbird. Imagine a being so tiny it can perch on the tip of a pencil without causing it to tilt. Such is the bee hummingbird, considered the smallest bird in the world, found in Cuba and some Caribbean islands. Measuring just 5 centimeters and weighing less than 2 grams, it is lighter than a coin, yet carries extraordinary power. Its wings beat at an astonishing speed, up to 80 beats per second. This incessant motion creates a soft buzz, almost like a chant, reminiscent of the breath of life God granted even the most fragile creatures. It hovers in the air like a miniature helicopter, flying forward, backward, or even upside down, performing maneuvers that seem to defy physics. Its tiny heart beats over 1,000 times per minute, as if each moment is lived at maximum intensity, teaching us that it's not size, but the energy and grace we carry that matters. Its body shines in the sun with metallic green and blue reflections. Males display red and pink feathers, like living jewels painted by the Creator's hand. Every day, this little being visits over 1,000 flowers in search of nectar, spreading pollen and ensuring the continuation of plant life. Without it, many plants would not reproduce. Its nest is the size of a small coin, housing only 2 tiny eggs comparable to grains of rice, a scene of absolute delicacy, reminding us how God cares even for the smallest creatures. Watching a bee hummingbird in motion is witnessing a natural miracle. It shows that even in microscopic dimensions, life can have a huge impact on the balance of creation. Imagine holding the heart of such a small yet indispensable animal. It's like hearing the voice of nature itself whispering that everything has value before God. Number 9. Violet-throated hummingbird. In the arid deserts of the southwestern United States and Mexico, where the sun scorches the land and life seems difficult, a flash of color appears, as if from a celestial stained glass window, the violet-throated hummingbird. Measuring just 8 centimeters and slightly over 2 g, it is living proof that beauty can flourish even in the harshest settings. The male has shimmering plumage forming a kind of crown, but it is his violet throat that makes him truly unforgettable. Under sunlight, this patch seems to emit its own light, turning each flight into a mesmerizing spectacle, as if God placed a piece of the rainbow to brighten the deserts. These bright feathers are not just for decoration, they are seduction tools in courtship rituals. The male performs aerial acrobatics, dancing in the sky with curves and dives, while his purple throat acts like a beacon. The spectacle is so captivating it seems like an angelic choreography dedicated to life. Despite living in dry, extremely hot regions, this hummingbird has ingeniously adapted to survive. During the day, it feeds on nectar and small insects. At night, it enters a state of torpor, lowering its metabolism and sleeping deeply, as if trusting in divine providence until dawn. Its nests are small works of art, made of plant fibers, dry leaves, and spider webs. They are so well camouflaged among desert shrubs that they seem part of the landscape. There, the female lays her eggs, symbols of hope that even in hostile environments, life insists on rebirth. Seeing a violet-throated hummingbird is like witnessing a colorful miracle amid aridity. It reminds us that, like desert flowers, we too can shine in the face of adversity. This tiny bird invites us to believe that even the driest places can become gardens of light. Number 8. Weebill. In the vastness of Australia, where fields stretch endlessly and dry trees seem to whisper to the wind, lives the almost invisible weebill, measuring just 6 taman and 7 centimeter and weighing less than 2 giri. It is the smallest bird in Australia and one of the most discreet on the planet. Its beige and gray plumage blends perfectly with branches and dried leaves. When perched, it is nearly impossible to distinguish from the landscape, as if sculpted by nature itself to hide. It seems like a leaf carried by the wind, a breath of life that goes unnoticed but carries a vital mission. The weebill feeds exclusively on insects and larvae, becoming an invisible guardian against pests. With its tireless appetite, it helps maintain the ecological balance of Australian forests. Despite its size, it is fiercely territorial, never hesitating to defend the area where it searches for food, facing rivals with courage that reminds us of the strength of the small against the great. Its flight is fast and erratic, resembling a moth's, helping it capture prey in mid-air and escape predators. It lives in pairs or small flocks, and the partnership is strong, with both parents caring for the chicks. Its pouch-shaped nest is woven from plant fibers and carefully hidden in the lower branches, like a secret treasure. Little known outside Australia, the weebill is a true hidden miracle. It teaches us that the greatness of creation is not in size, but in purpose. Just as in faith, where the smallest gesture can have a huge impact, this little bird proves that even nearly invisible, its importance is immense. Observing the weebill is a reminder that God also speaks through the small voices of nature. Number 7. Lesser goldfinch. At first glance, it may seem insignificant, but just a few seconds of observation reveal that the lesser goldfinch is a living jewel of creation. Measuring only 9 centimeters and about 8 giri, it fits entirely in the palm of your hand, and yet delights crowds with its cheerful and vibrant song. It belongs to the same family as canaries, its more famous cousins, but has its own special charm. It inhabits open areas between the United States and Mexico, always in fields full of seeds, as if God had spread a miniature banquet just for it. In summer, the males shine in intense yellow and black, like a sunbeam perched on a branch. Females are more discreet, showing greenish and grayish tones that blend with the field, yet they still convey gentle, humble beauty. Its song is melodic, varied, and sounds like a small wind instrument played delicately. With this gift, it marks territory and attracts mates, filling the meadows with music. It feeds on tiny seeds, sunflower seeds, thistle, and other wild herbs, and during breeding season, it supplements its diet with small insects to nourish the chicks. Its flight is fast and agile, alternating rapid wing beats with short glides, seeming to float between sky and earth. Watching it in motion reveals the lightness of life when guided by the creator's breath. Its nests are miniature masterpieces, delicate baskets made of fibers and moss, well hidden in shrubs. Each clutch yields 3 to 5 eggs, and in less than 2 weeks, the chicks are ready to leave the nest. The lesser goldfinch reminds us that greatness lies not in grandeur, but in the impact we create. Its song, coming from such a small body, echoes across the fields as a hymn to life. Just as faith teaches, sometimes it is precisely in fragility that we find true strength. Number 6. Black-capped chickadee, the famous chocoino. Among the cold forests of Europe and northern Asia, where silence reigns and only the wind cuts through the treetops, lives the discreet black-capped chickadee. Affectionately known as chocoino, it measures about 11 centimeters and weighs between 9 and 12 gri. It is one of the smallest in its family, yet carries ancestral wisdom. Its gray and cream plumage, with a dark-capped head, is perfect for camouflaging among moss-covered trunks. It is a true monk of the forest. It spends the day silently, meticulously searching for insects and seeds among tree bark. During harsh winters, it shows intelligence by hiding food in trunk crevices, as if storing blessings for hard days. This behavior of foresight is rare among birds and reminds us of the virtue of prudence taught in scripture, preparing with humility to face trials. It is neither colorful nor loud, but its presence is essential for the forest balance, controlling insects and aiding tree regeneration. Its song is soft, almost a whisper, like a hidden prayer among the branches. It does not seek attention, connection, only communicating with its mate or discreetly alerting to danger. It lives in loyal pairs, remaining together year after year, building nests in tree cavities carefully lined with moss and down. Finding a chocoino is like discovering a pearl hidden in moss. It teaches the beauty of discretion, the importance of constancy, and the value of unseen things, like faith, which often does not shout but acts silently. This small bird proves that the greatest treasures of creation are revealed in the hidden. At the end of this journey through the smallest birds on the planet, my heart fills with respect and reverence for the delicacy of life. These tiny creatures that fit in the palm of your hand are true symbols of divine greatness. They prove that creation is not limited to the majestic, the mountains that touch the sky, or the endless oceans, but also reveals itself in the small, the fragile, and what might seem insignificant at first glance. Humans often believe that only the strong, the wealthy, and the powerful truly matter, yet nature teaches a different lesson. Number 5. Bee hummingbird. Introduction and general characteristics. The bee hummingbird, scientifically known as Mellisuga helenae, is one of the smallest birds on the planet, weighing less than 2 grams and measuring about 5 to 6 centimeters in length. Despite its tiny size, its ecological importance is colossal. These little creatures are tireless pollinators, visiting hundreds of flowers daily and ensuring the reproduction of numerous plant species. In fragile ecosystems such as tropical forests and urban gardens, they act as engines of fertility, sustaining the life of plants and, consequently, of other dependent species. The diminutive bee hummingbird has vibrant plumage, usually metallic green on the back and whitish on the belly, providing perfect camouflage among leaves and flowers. Its thin, elongated beak is adapted to reach the deep nectar of tubular flowers, making it essential for plants that rely exclusively on specialized pollinators. Additionally, the hummingbird's forked tongue functions like a nectar pump, allowing it to extract small amounts rapidly and efficiently, an extraordinary adaptation considering its tiny size. Another fascinating aspect is its endurance and accelerated metabolism. A bee hummingbird consumes more than its own weight in nectar daily and supplements its diet with small insects, rich in protein. To sustain such a pace, its heart beats an astonishing 200 times per minute in flight, while its wings can flap over 80 times per second. This level of energy is required not only for flying and feeding, but also for escaping predators and traveling long distances in search of nectar-rich flowers. Despite its apparent fragility, the bee hummingbird is highly territorial. Males vigorously defend small floral areas, performing complex aerial acrobatics to ward off rivals. These behaviors not only ensure access to food sources, but are also part of elaborate courtship rituals to attract females. Their flight appears almost magical. They can hover, move backward, and shift laterally, performing maneuvers that defy the known aerodynamics of larger birds. In Brazil, similar species, like the banana quit, Coriba flaviola, remind us of the importance of these pollinators and their contribution to keeping gardens alive and healthy, reinforcing the idea that even the smallest beings play crucial roles in maintaining biodiversity. Small yet essential, these hummingbirds teach us that greatness lies not in size, but in function, and the impact each being can have on the world around them, behavior, reproduction, and ecological interactions. The bee hummingbird is not only a symbol of delicacy and speed, but also a fascinating example of adaptive behavior. Despite their tiny bodies, these birds are extremely territorial and competitive. Males frequently patrol specific flower areas, chasing intruders with rapid, acrobatic flights, often performing aerial pirouettes that seem nearly impossible for such a small animal. This behavior is not just impressive but essential, ensuring exclusive access to the best nectar sources, vital for their high metabolism. During the breeding season, hummingbird rituals become even more complex. Males display their metallic colors in sunlight, showing off iridescent plumage to attract females. They may perform U-shaped or fast circular flights, approaching females closely before retreating and repeating the movement multiple times. This courtship display is a natural spectacle, an aerial dance combining strength, agility, and endurance, all with a body smaller than a coin. The female is responsible for building the nest. Despite her lightness, the nest is delicate yet incredibly resilient, constructed with plant fibers, spider silk, and even small mosses for perfect camouflage. She lays 1 or 2 tiny eggs, smaller than a pea, and maintains constant incubation for weeks. After hatching, the chicks are fed regurgitated nectar and small insects, quickly gaining the energy needed for their first flights. Ecologically, the bee hummingbird is essential for pollination. By visiting flowers, its tiny body transports pollen from one plant to another, promoting cross-fertilization. Without these hummingbirds, hummingbirds, many tropical plants would experience significantly reduced reproduction, affecting the entire local food chain. Additionally, they help control small insect populations by consuming larvae and tiny spiders, maintaining habitat balance. Their fast, almost hypnotic flight, fierce territoriality, and complex mating rituals demonstrate that even the smallest beings can lead rich, complex lives full of challenges and survival strategies. In short, the bee hummingbird is much more than a visual attraction. It is an ecological engineer, an untiring athlete, and an essential piece of the biodiversity mosaic. Ecological importance, human interaction, and fascinating facts. The bee hummingbird is more than a small, colorful creature. It is a crucial link in maintaining tropical and subtropical ecosystems. By pollinating flowers, these birds ensure the reproduction of plants that provide food and shelter for a wide range of organisms. Fruit-bearing species, flowering shrubs, and even large trees rely on their presence, making each flight of the bee hummingbird a vital mission for biodiversity. Beyond its ecological role, the bee hummingbird captures human admiration. Its speed and agility inspire artists, scientists, and nature enthusiasts. Photographers spend hours capturing movements nearly impossible to track with the naked eye. Painters and artisans use its metallic and iridescent colors as references in artwork, from paintings to jewelry and embroidery. In popular culture, hummingbirds are often associated with joy, delicacy, and freedom, symbolizing ephemeral beauty and resilience. However, this species faces significant threats, often invisible to the untrained eye. Habitat destruction, pesticide use, and the introduction of invasive species can drastically reduce their food sources. Exotic flowers planted by humans may not provide necessary nectar, while herbicides and pesticides destroy insects that are part of their diet. Despite its diminutive size, each bee hummingbird serves as a sensitive indicator of environmental health, signaling whether an ecosystem is balanced or under stress. Fascinating facts further add to its almost mythical aura. It can beat its wings up to 80 times per second, producing a characteristic hum reminiscent of a miniature electric motor. This speed allows it to hover precisely, essential for extracting nectar without landing. Recent studies also show that some populations travel long distances in search of seasonal flowers, demonstrating remarkable endurance and navigational abilities rivaling much larger birds. Additionally, the bee hummingbird has an impressive memory, recalling which flowers it has visited and when they produce the most nectar. This skill is vital, optimizing each flight, saving energy, and maximizing caloric intake, a necessity for a creature with such an extreme metabolism, needing to consume more than its body weight in nectar daily. Its interaction with humans can be both positive and negative. Well-planned gardens with native flowers can attract and sustain bee hummingbird populations, contributing to environmental education and ecotourism. Conversely, intensive agriculture and pollution can drastically reduce their numbers, demonstrating that even the smallest beings depend on conscious human decisions to survive. In summary, the bee hummingbird is a microcosm of life, fast, resilient, vital to other beings, and absolutely enchanting to us. Every flight, every wing beat, and every flower visit is a small ecological revolution that sustains life around it. Number 4. African cordon-bleu with its red cheeks. Even the smallest creatures can be beacons of beauty within the landscape. These birds are living parables, revealing spiritual truths. They remind us that every person, even those who feel small, forgotten, or invisible, has invaluable worth in God's plan. Just as each song, each color, and each wing beat has a purpose, we too were created with a unique mission. The world needs both the majestic eagle soaring through the skies and the humble bird singing its melody in the garden, bringing joy to hearts around. The lesson is clear. We must learn to value simplicity, protect the fragile, and care for what is often overlooked. For it is through these small acts that life flourishes in fullness. Defending nature is not only an act of ecological consciousness, but also a way to protect ourselves, our families, and honor the Creator who entrusted this planet to us as a gift and responsibility. Let us look to these little birds as inspiration. May we be like them, messengers of hope, sowers of beauty, and witnesses to the strength found in simplicity. In the end, we are all part of the same symphony of life, and even the lightest, almost imperceptible note is essential for the music of creation to be perfect. After this journey through tiny wings and huge hearts, it is impossible not to be moved. Who would have thought that creatures weighing only a few grams carry such responsibility within ecosystems? They pollinate flowers, control insects, spread seeds, and above all, fill our days with beauty and music. These tiny messengers of life are living proof that nature leaves nothing to chance. They remind us that everything has value before God. Just as every leaf and grain of sand has a purpose, we too, humans, were created to play a unique role. By contemplating these little birds, we learn that it is not the size of the body that defines importance, but the mission we carry. In the best of nature, we believe that true wealth lies in opening our eyes to what seems simple, for it is precisely in simplicity that the extraordinary is hidden. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed our content, subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Also, check out other interesting content appearing right now on your screen, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.